One thing that I'm learning is relationships are amazing. Having that connection with somebody, allowing to be vulnerable with that person, having somebody to talk to that you actually have a lot in common with, that person that seems to be quite literally like you. Whenever you get into situations like this, we get into a state where our emotional side is drawn to this person. Our emotional side is drawn to this person because the way that we react, the way that we feel, overtakes our logical side or reasoning. Whenever we fall for people, we become like a crackhead, an addict. We're addicted to this person, and we want this person to fulfill that void, that rift that happens whenever we start to fall for people. And that void, that rift, can only be fulfilled by that person that we're pouring our energy into. Because we're so fixated on this person, that fixation that we have on this person can cause us to lose our minds as well. You start to worry about every little downfall, shortcoming that comes with that relationship. Because every slight change you notice, because you don't want them to lose interest in you. With them losing interest in you, you're so worried about having them stay focused on you that you start doing things that are outside of your normal character. You start doing things that is more of a anticipation and expectation that they'll focus back on you. People have lives to live. People have jobs, careers, and other things that they have to prioritize. And being in these relationships with that person, you have to have boundaries. Boundaries come with assurance and knowing that this is a person that you can be vulnerable with. This is a person that you can continue having these feelings for, because feelings do change over time. And with having those boundaries, that set foundation that you have with that person, you're allowed to truly explore this relationship. Really, when you put your heart in someone else's hands, you run into the risk of being hurt. People are not obligated to holding your heart in their hands, good or bad. When you give over that trust and that full responsibility to another person, you start lacking it within yourself. You have to prioritize yourself along with that relationship with that person. Because if you don't prioritize yourself, you yourself will be diminished. You will be so fixated on putting this person on a pedestal that you don't realize that you care for yourself. You don't do things for yourself. You do things so much so for this other person so they can stay in focus with you. It is not healthy to make someone your entire world, your entire life, your source of happiness. Happiness comes from within. And allowing to be in this relationship without having the expectation that this person will fulfill all of your desires will be better in the long run, because people are not perfect. Once you take those rose-colored glasses off and you realize the flaws that this person have, the shortcomings that they have, the inconsistencies that they may display, you can communicate about these things. You can give enough time for them to change and adapt to the type of person that you are. It takes two to be in a relationship, and without having that communication, that foundation, things start to spiral. Without having that communication, you'll begin to be anxious. That anxious side of you is the side that starts to chase after this person, quite literally putting more energy into them. This anxious side of you isn't secure because you're fixated on a return. You're fixated on receiving back what you give out. Doing things out of love allows you to not be attached to the outcome, to the return source. Detaching yourself from expectation that the amount that you give to another person is not going to be received by you tenfold or 100% or even equal planes. It is up to that other person to reciprocate that. You cannot force anybody to love you. You can't force anybody to be with you. You can't force anybody to think about you. It is up to that relationship that they view you as and the relationship you view them as. It is not always going to be perfect either. Relationships are not meant to be perfect. Perfect relationships don't exist. That's why the perfect person also doesn't exist. So when you realize that you're in a stuck place, that you're fixated on this other person, you need to take a step back for yourself. You need to realize that your emotions are overtaking your logical sense. You have people in your life that have logical reasoning within themselves because they are not casted by the spell that you have over this person. They are not intertwined. They do not like this person in the way that you do. We give people their value because of the way that we see them, we perceive them. We put these people in this specific light because that's how we see them. That's how our connection with them is. And when you get a sense of self outside of this person and you realize that life will continue with them a part of your life or without your life, you will start to realize that everything that you do does not have to regard them. Everything that you do does not have to have them attached to it, because you are two individuals that come together for this relationship. You don't have to be tied at the hip with this person. This person will be in your life if they are meant to be in your life. Forcing things and trying to take complete control over everything that you guys interact with will cause you to be hurt. Don't allow yourself to fall into the trap that thinking you can bombard somebody to the point where they will see you for your worth, your value. It will never work out that way. If people don't value, they don't see you, they will not treat you as such. They will not show you the care. They will not give you the response that you are looking for, no matter how much you're giving them. Take it upon yourself to get back into the things that you love to do. Detach from this person. I'm not saying completely ignore them or walk away from them, but fall back in love with things that you enjoy to do. Give your life purpose back. Give yourself a reason to keep living rather than having this person be your existence. People are not the reason why you keep going. You yourself is that foundation and the purpose behind everything that you do. Nothing in life was achieved because this person came into your world. You have been living life before them. You can continue living life without them. And it is okay to fall in love. It is okay to have those barriers broken down. By yourself, though. Don't allow people to breach your walls just because you like them, just because you want them to see you. No. Give it time. Trust that this person have your pure intentions. Trust that you have pure intentions with this other person. Do not think that opening up, however, will get them to like you in the way that you like them. Don't fall for the trap that if they don't give you what you want, you have to give more. That's where we fall into the trap of manipulators, people who take from you. You don't want somebody who takes from you. You want somebody who gives just like you give. It doesn't always have to be on the same caliber, though. And that's why when you're in love with a specific person, the way that they love may not be the same as your love. Don't be so hard on people just because they don't have the same type of mindset you do. When you get into a relationship with someone, you're accepting them for who they are and who they have shown you to be. You cannot change people just because you love them, no matter what. I've had experiences from my mother. She loves me dearly. There's things that she wants me to do and change. And I've stated to her, I appreciate your love. I appreciate your advice. But that is not something that I want for myself. I know you're doing it out of love for me, but this is my own thing that I have to deal with. I am my own complete individual. Be your own person outside of the relationship. You are not your relationship, but your relationship should be valued. Your relationship should be reciprocated on both sides. You should be able to depict and see that this person cares about you in the same way that you care about them. Don't allow somebody to be in your life to just take from you. You both should give into each other, and the way that you give into each other is shown by action. Trust that they will have your best interest at heart, and be patient with people. Not everything is a rush. It is okay to have a slow burning love. That is the best type of love that there is out there. You don't want to rush into love because it can be superficial. It can be really fake. Trust the process.